bear with me. I'm just following protocol. I'm doing my job. Doing my job. So
Please don't interrupt her again.
This is how we handle the opposition. We try to have monopolization on this. We try to have, and this isn't trying to seem negative, but we try to eliminate our opponents.
I just let out a loud ah.
We use whatever resources available and any kind of political influence that we have to take care of the opposition. And, this is totally legal. This is not illegal. We like to do some, and you can just read on. I mean, there's no need to go over this publicly. Yeah, we don't.
I'm sorry. My audio went out for a while. Could you start over again?
No, but we do send emails out to all of our clients and all of our different contractual companies and all of the companies that are in competition with us. We'll send them out friendly email reminders, and then we'll also we'll take care of any. Because sometimes the rules are broken, and
we prefer beheading. And I wink at her.
Well, it doesn't say anything but we don't prefer beheading or anything like that. But anyways, and the last, that's not important. Click, click. She goes to the next slide, and she says, "Our final slide. These are what our clients are saying about astral extractions." She says our first client. He's been such a long-term client of ours. He feels like he's one of the family, and it's by an Isu Cocretia, and he's a Kasatha, and his little excerpt says, Absalom extractions have, and it shows him a picture as well, an animated GIF of him saying this. Absalom extractions have always offered amazing services at low service and are not at all a front for any kind of criminal organization. As he winks at the camera, attempting to overthrow any kind of government here on the station. And she's,
I see that help me. I see that help me in tiny font there.
Yeah. There's something that says help me in a very
I like the last guy that's talking in all caps. Oh, why are you yelling?
And then an Elikoth, which is a creature that would have been at the zoo actually. It says, and she says, oh, the next one is Joe the Elikoth. He's got such a cute accent, and he goes, argo, 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 and you can hear a bunch of bone-crunching sounds. And then she says, oh, he's part of the family as well. And then the last is a Lawan Nectal, and it's a cephalid. And he says, oh, the fantastic services offered by Astral Extractions have catapulted the cephalid takeover plans for... anyways, it's a good place. Astral, and you can see like the tip of a laser beam, like the tip of a laser gun or something, like just off of the edge of the cannon, and he kind of keeps looking over towards it. And she says, so that's my slide presentation. That's what Astral Extractions is all about. So I know a couple of you had some questions. So Trinkets, please feel free to ask away. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, thank you so very much.
Yes.
I walk right up to the lady, poke her in the chest.
Ouch.
What do you want? Don't act like you don't know who we are. What is this game?
Well, there's no game. It's just that Astral Extractions, we are an elite company, and we do have a stellar reputation. And we know that you were hired to look at the Acrian. And we know that you were supposed to be looking at the Drift Rock as well. We just want here at Astral Extractions, we just want what the contract that we signed with the Hard Scrabble Collective, what we're, our rights to. And, the Acrian found this Drift Rock and defined in the contract, as she has a contract that she puts down on the cable. And she says, while working for Astral Extractions, so rights to the asteroid belong to the company. And this is clearly defined in the contract that we have. And that's all we want. We want what is ours. And, we want you to do what is right as well. But, we here at Astral Extractions are always interested in competent freelancers for a variety of tasks and reasons. And, of course, all of you could find some possible lucrative employment opportunities in the future as well. That's, of course, if your findings support us here at Astral Extractions.
Wow. Okay,
Wow.
So she's trying to recruit us.
We are a legitimate company, and and the slideshow it just solidified what we're all about here on Absalom Station and all throughout the Pact Worlds.
I say we meet again. We hear it again, but this time, every time he says Astral Extractions, we have to drink.
Right.
We don't get like free T-shirts or anything.
You know what? I actually brought a couple. I don't have any. I'm so sorry. We are out of the sizes that you guys need. We only have like 5Xs right now. But I did bring a couple of gift mugs, and they're even wrapped for you. And she passes out mugs for everyone. And they're also insulated. They're beautiful. They're quite expensive. But we spare no expense here at Astral Extractions.
Drink.
So any other questions? I am an open book. Well, if there's no other questions, she starts to close her, her laptop down, and she starts to fold the screen away. And she says, well, if there's no other questions, I will leave you to whatever you're going to be doing. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. If you ever need anything, just give me an email. Or you can tweet at Miss Joss at spacetweeter.com.
Space Twitter.
Yes.
I'll put you in my contacts.
Oh, I'll friend you back. I always friend everybody back. So she packs everything up and she leaves. And she says, oh, on behalf of Astral Extractions, have a beautiful day.
Oh, thank you very much, and I have some final advice for you.
Oh, and what would that be, Mrs. Trinkets?
You have any stock, sell it. As I smile.
Oh, our stock on the space exchange is just through the roof. It's in another orbit right now. No pun intended, but but I'll be holding on to it. Anyways, thank you, Trinkets. Bye-bye now.
You're lost.
I love it.
That was pretty good, Dave.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a good little thing you had put together there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, want to have fun with it.
Yeah, Dave, could you send the deck out later so I can do some other research on it?
I didn't take any notes.
Yeah, I didn't really study. Was I supposed to be? I don't know.
All right, so you guys, what are you guys doing? Well, anyway, the rest of the day, you guys are now, you're contacted again, and guess who you're contacted by this time? That's right.
Oh my God! Tell me it's.
That's right. It is the Hard Scrabble Collective.
Yeah, I saw that guy.
Oh my God! Double word score.
Yeah, you've gotten an invitation to. Remember where you guys went to the docking bay for Hard Scrabble Collective in our last session? Well, you got a personal invitation by an Otal Sarisi, and he is the captain. It says from the Dust Runner, and remember they actually mentioned the ship, the Dust Runner. So the captain, Captain Sarisi, has invited you to the Hard Scrabble Collective docking bay again.
I don't know. Should we go, you guys? I don't know if I can sit through another presentation. My space butt's sore.
I'm hungry already again.
Well,
I think the fries.
I promise you, I don't have another slideshow presentation. I mean, these guys are
No, I
these
like
are dwarven miners. They're not gonna, they're not gonna.
Oh,
have
they're
anything.
dwarves that are all under 18.
Oh,
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
can't-
Dave,
I'm not allowed within 15 yards
Of minors?
of miners.
As
Yeah.
long as I can take a space slushy to go.
well, out of character, Dave. I don't
Yes.
really liked it.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
thanks.
I'm gonna go out of character, Dave.
I mean, Trinkets
was-
didn't.
Yeah, Trinkets thought it sucked. She was flipping you off behind your back. You missed it.
Well, I like doing stuff like that. I really do.
I think
So-
it just reinforces two things. You like role-playing games, and number two, you have no life. So that's really excellent.
This is what I do every day. I spend probably 12 to 16 hours a day doing this. It's my job now, Worm. So yeah. of
I know. I
course.
got one word for you, and that word is diabetes, because you've got to get out and exercise.
Oh, I do.
Take-
I
take it from
actually
me.
Do. Yeah, I do.
I mean, I'm looking at my
definitely
Fitbit right
do.
now, and it says 16 steps, Dave, because
16.
I've been sitting on my couch. Just 16. I got up to use the bathroom earlier, and I had to get toilet paper, so that's the extra 8 right there.
Oh, which one? Oh,
And
never
my
mind.
bucket's full, right?
Exactly.
My pee bottle's full. I got to change it. So as you guys get
Well,
over to the go
Trinkets
ahead.
is definitely interested in listening to the hard scrabble thing.
Yeah,
All
same.
right. So you guys make
I'm
your way over
interested
to the
in
private
Trinkets.
docking bay. What's that?
I said I'm interested in anything Trinkets is doing.
Whoa, hey now.
Damn. I think there is a showmance of brooding.
Showman.
Sure. So as you are going into the Hard Scrabble Collective hangar, and they have their own dedicated hangar like you guys were at last time, the Captain Cerisi, introduces himself, and he tells
Wait,
you
Captain
that he
who?
is the Captain Cerisi, Serissi, Cerisi. And he tells you that he kind of runs the Hard Scrabble Collective here at Absalom Station, and he says, "Well, I pretty much want you to understand what the collective stands for. This is and you can see a ship. It's an old, it's definitely been working in the mining fields for quite some time, and it's a huge freighter. It's all bent up and whatnot." Doesn't look like it's luxurious. All of the ships look like that. Don't look like they'd be too comfortable to travel and live in. And, as he's kind of showing you the ship, he's like taking great pride in kind of giving you guys the tour. And, he's like kind of patting the wall of the ship and stuff very gently. And he says, not only myself, but all of us here in the Hard Scrabble Collective, we take great pride in what we do here, and this is not only our homes for the most part, but this is our livelihoods. This is how we support our families. And then he invites you into his ship. He invites you on board of the Dust Runner, and it's nothing fancy inside. There's chunks of rubble all over the place and wires hanging down, and sometimes you can hear an occasional spark or something. And as you guys sit down in the galley, and he goes over to the space coffee pot, and he gets everybody, he says, sorry, but I don't have any kind of cream or anything, so I hope you take your coffee black. And he puts down
No space cream?
I'm sorry, it's not in the budget. I'm sorry, little lady. But he sits down, your coffee's steaming and whatnot, and he says, well, we want to know what happened to the Acreon. And especially, the ship can be replaced. The ship can be fixed. But we want to know what happened to our brothers and sisters, the crew.
How many
it's,
crew?
It's important. Quite a few. Just probably about a dozen or so. And he says, we aren't rich. We're not a huge mining conglomerate. And most of us, we try to scratch out whatever meager livings that we can get. And most of our business is done in the diaspora. And, the diaspora, I'll give you the map of the packed worlds really quick. This is the Diaspora, which is pretty much the 7th orbit from the sun, and it's basically just a bunch of space asteroids and small chunks of rock, large chunks of rock that just orbit basically the 7th position of the sun. And he tells you, but when we do get an occasional contract, like what the Acrean had gotten from Astral Extractions, it's sort of like a luxury that we really can't refuse. I mean, it really helps the families out. You know, we do take our independence and our freedom greatly because of all of these exploitations by the big, and I am saying that, yes, Astral Extractions does exploit their contractors. I mean, it's obvious. That's how they became the corporate overlords that they are. But it's still more than what we would get from a typical, mining contract on the Diaspora. So it's obviously clear that the crew on the Acrean staked their claim on this drift rock. And we believe that the terms of the contract allowed them to do so. It's in the wording, and it is any surprise that the collective would be suspicious of this as well, because now Extractions is saying that the drift rock is theirs. Well, that's just not the case. All that they have claim to are basically claim sites, not the actual site. If it's brought, they don't have any claim to it. So, our crew on the Acrean, they're the ones that basically towed this thing into orbit. And I don't even think that they meant to come all the way to Absalom Station. And that's how everyone found out that our crew was not on board the ship.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. What scenarios would cause them to bring the asteroid here, as opposed to mining it there?
Well, the ship was scanned. And it would be dangerous to, especially with Absalom Station and the eye, even though the glass is pretty thick and it probably wouldn't break, but just in case if there was any kind of anomaly and that drift rock would explode, it could put Absalom Station at great risk. And that's why our crew on the Acreon would have never brought that asteroid as close to Absalom Station as they did.
So I'm going to ask this guy what he thinks.
Concerned as well.
And I'm going to ask him, I'm going to say, what does he think happened to the crew on the drift rock?
I can't tell you. And I know that you have been hired. We are in litigation right now, and you guys know this, and we've been contacted, and also Extractions has been contacted. And we know that you are the mediators. And, we understand. And first off, the space doors, the doors, the hatch doors are open. So either the crew is dead in the ship, or maybe they're pressure locked in one of the chambers, maybe the engineering lab. I don't know. But that shouldn't be like that. When the hatches are open, they could have jettisoned out. I mean, they could have gotten space chutes and maybe went onto another ship, but we need to find out. And you should be able to find out on all of the data that's on the bridge of the ship.
So is there any way that we can track anybody? Do they have any kind of tracking mechanisms that we can maybe use to help identify if there's anybody on the ship once we get on there and start looking around?
All of that, yes, 404. All that information will be on the computers on the bridge. You should be able to find out everything.
Is there any passwords or anything you can give us to help us?
There should.
On the ship?
No, there's no passwords, but it is possible to splice into the system. But usually the captain of the vessel would have a special key card that would give him access. And but you still have to have the password. And unfortunately, all of our passwords are independent from one another, and we make them change the passwords every 30 days, like Space Yahoo, which is an absolute annoyance, but it's for security purposes. But the captain does have a specialized key card, and that key card will give you some type of exclusive access to all the digits and zeros and ones. And I'm not a computer engineer, so but yeah, it'll help you splicing into the network on the ship.
Good to know.
Are you familiar with that type of asteroid? Are you familiar with what type of ores would be in it?
We don't know. We haven't been able to research the data yet, and that's why you guys are supposedly, as what Ambassador Nor's people have said in their email to us, that you are going there to find out. So once we find out more, it could. I'm sure it's probably has some type of value, because the captain of the Acreon would not have towed that thing if it didn't have any kind of orbit. And I want to know why he towed it anyway. I don't. Maybe he wanted to get back to Absalom Station to close the contract here with Extractions and take the shuttle, one of the shuttles that's from his ship to Absalom Station, but that didn't happen. So that's why we need to know.
The possibility that someone on that ship could have sabotaged it.
Oh no, we're a close-knit family. There's no way, unless they were taken over. Maybe the ship. Maybe some other ship docked on it and took over the ship. I don't know.
Families feud too.
You're right.
Yes.
And they are together in close quarters all the time. I mean, it has happened in the past. I mean, it's obvious. It's going to happen. When you have people living close with one another every day of their lives, basically. But
just throwing some scenarios out there to see if anything might check a box for you or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we just need to find out because we need to know the fate of the crew members, because it's the right of the families to know what happened to their loved ones, and that's the most important thing. And if the worst has happened, then whatever that drift rock that we think that we have claim to, maybe the profit from that rock can help ease the pain and the suffering and the loss from all of the family members of the crew of the families that were left behind, basically. That's all we really care about, honestly.
Will we be the first ones on this ship?
That is correct. Yes, the ship, ever since that sensors detected that there was no crew on the ship, then yes, the stewards did put the ship in quarantine. And, there are several ships that have been watching over it for the last couple of days from the Armada, just to make sure that there's been no tampering with
and no life signs from anything. Okay, got it.
Yes, yeah.
That's going to be good for us to check out. I get a real puzzling look on my face, and I go all Sherlock Holmes, and I start rubbing the bottom of my chin like I'm pondering something great.
Any requests if we do find bodies? Like, do they have tags or anything you want us to bring back with us?
Yes, they have identification chips embedded into their shoulder that will let us know. Just in case of mining accidents, we usually have a small chip, painless procedure, by the way.
So don't do the traditional desk, eat the dead.
Oh, please don't do that. We want to bring their bodies back to their families, and then they can do whatever religious rites that they would like to do. But look here, the only other thing that I'm going to tell you here is we're not disputing Extraction's contract with the Acreon. We're happy to turn over all of the files, all of the ores, all of the findings, and from that prospecting mission to the company. That is in the contract. But the ship and the claim of the crew of that drift rock, those belong to us at the Collective. And, I wish you guys good luck on your investigation of the Acreon, and just do your best to find out what happened to the ship's crew. That's all I ask. That's all I ask for.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but that was pretty much his. That was his pitch. And then he says he has a lot of stuff to offload, and he's got some repairs he has to do. And he thanks you for your time and gets up and says you're welcome to stay as long as you want. And he leaves the deck. He leaves the
All right,
deck.
I stand up in this commissary, and I scoop my chair back a little bit, and I look at everybody and I put my hand in. Come on, guys, hands in. No, nobody. No, well, all right.
This isn't going to be a thing.
It's not going to be a thing. All right, never mind.
Nice.
Space jump.
Oh, the space jump when you're all frozen in the air.
Right. Yeah.
You could do that in weightlessness. That would be.
Yeah,
That would
we'll have
be
to wait
cool.
till we get then.
Yeah,
Zero
one way
gravity.
win.
And hey, there are zero gravity mechanics rules in Starfinder too. Huh?
Too bad we just have Starfinder 1. Damn it!
Nice catch.
All right.
No, it's a little early, but can we take a short break?
All right.
It's like a
you guys
3-hour
wanna head to
tour.
It's a 3-hour tour. So you guys are going to your first ship. What's up with that, huh?
I hope I fit.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to join the Armada as a Vesk. You're probably a little bit too tall. You know, sort of like you're too tall for, at a certain point, for joining submarines and stuff.
Plus, he's put on a few pounds, Dave. He
Yeah, all
eats
the
like a
food.
horse. Yeah.
It's all of that protein that he loves to take in. All right, so you have this hippocampus. It belongs to the Armada in Absalom Station, and Ambassador Nor has procured the ship for you. So you head over to the private docking bay that this thing is in, and it's one of numerous different private shuttles and stuff that's in here, and these basically, but you have these, all of these, first off, all of these shuttles are usually used to transport from the larger ships that can't actually dock inside of the docking bays. But this hippocampus, it's armed. This thing has a turret. It has a front blaster. You can see the pulsating, like almost transparent shield around it. This thing is nice. I mean, it's a Ringworks Wanderer model, but like I said, it's been heavily modified for station security. And Ambassador Nor and the Oxian Embassy, they've actually taken care of all of that. And here again, this is what the Wanderer looks like. Of course, it's that custom. Most of the other ships in here are orange, or either orange or red. So this one's yellow because that's what the Ambassador Nor, that's what color he wanted it. Okay. So you guys head on to the ship. The droid, that little follow bot droid, is there as well. And you guys don't have a pilot. So as we venture into Starship, the Starship mechanics for our first time ever, which I'm very excited, but yet kind of nervous also. You'll see on the message of the day,
It's okay, we'll be easy on you.
I have put up a new Starship Combat journal. And it has everything that we're going to need. It has all of the actions for each role, whether you want to be a captain, an engineer, a gunner, a pilot, or a science officer. Obviously, if you guys have read, hopefully you guys have read from page 316 on about Starship Combat in the Starfinder Core Rulebook, there can only be one captain of a ship. There can only be one pilot of a ship, but you can have as many engineers, gunners, and science officers that you would like to have. But then it also depends on how many crew members can be on a ship as well. And with the hippocampus, this will hold up to 6 players.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say 3.
No, it'll hold up to 6. So, first off, who is going to be the captain?
Me.
Captain Trinkets.
All right. So, who's going to be the pilot?
Hello? Hello, is this thing on?
Yeah. So you're going to be the pilot, 404?
No, not me.
Or was
I thought
Grugel's character?
yeah, I
gonna
think
be?
it was Grugel.
Okay.
Dave, you have to just do Grugel for a while, I guess.
I'm going to have to. Who is going to be a gunner? Or are we going to have multiple gunners? Now, a turret can be fired in any aft, well, any of the quadrants. And if you're going to be firing on one quadrant or another, you're going to need multiple gunners. So who's going to be a gunner? Who's going to be a science officer? Who's going to be an engineer, etc.? I'm sure you're going to be the engineer 404.
You know I am.
Can people dual roll?
Nope, you can have one at a time. I'll do Gruel as the pilot.
Yeah, Soren's going to be the science officer.
Right, but a person can move stations if they need to.
You
right?
can, yes.
Yeah.
If someone
Okay,
goes
okay.
down or unconscious, yes. It'll take, I believe it's an action to an entire round to go over. Because you can only do one action per round in any kind of space combat anyway. So.
Plus, I want to be the head chef, but I notice there's no information in the book about that.
And Valek's going to be the gunner, I bet.
It'll be in the next book.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing
Starfinder
you can
2.
really do.
All right. So let's talk about what you guys need to do now. So we have the hippocampus. I have the stats for it, and it has an AC of 14 and a target lock of 14. Now AC is against blasters and whatnot, and anything that has any kind of locking, like missiles or anything like that, goes with the target locking armor class. So let's go with you need to update the shuttle's armor class depending on the pilot's piloting skill ranks. So I do not have access to that. I think he sent it to me in an email, and I totally forgot that he was not going to be here tonight. So let me see. I don't have his character sheet, so we'll say he's level 2, so he's going to have 2 ranks. We'll say that he's skill class with that, so that'll be a 5. And then we'll say that he's probably got a +3 in his ability. So we'll say that will be, what, +10? So we'll add 10 more to AC and 10 more to target lock, giving you guys a total of 24 AC and 24 TL.
Yeah, there might be a leap there. I think I look at +7 in maximum.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your ability score too. So.
Yeah, he does have the dex, and then he should have a +4 to dex, and then he has the +2 if he's got it trained.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll go with that for now. And,
Oh wait, we're level 2.
You guys are level 2. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out last time, Bay.
Hey, I can't help it if we level up when I'm drunk.
Oh, don't. So let's go ahead and let's head out, shall we? So it only takes a couple of minutes, everybody, for you as the pilot to get everything, well, Grugel as the pilot, to get everything warmed up, get all of the sensors turned on. Absalom traffic control has given you clearance for takeoff. And whoosh, you take off into the depths of space. And
Man, those effects were incredible, Dave. That sounded just like a spaceship taking off.
Thank you, 404. And you can, it is 10. Wow, I did guess that right. Man, I'm good. So as you look in the rear view windows, you can see Absalom Station getting smaller and smaller. And for Grugelkin, well, for his character, which is Bailey. Bailey kind of sits back in the pilot's chair a little bit because the program has kicked in and autopilot has taken over, and you now have about an hour and 45 minute to 2 hour flight to the secure destination to where the Acrian's at. And as you're flying through space, there's all kinds of ships here as well. Large ships, small ships, battleships, and they're all part of the Armada. And you guys are just cruising through for your 2 hour destination to the quarantine zone. And you get, like I said, you get a good view of the Absalom Station getting smaller. The Armada, which is a huge fleet, And about an hour and a half goes by or so, and you're on the last fringes of where the Armada ships are. And all of a sudden, you hear a you know, your sensors are picking up that a ship, a very small ship, has broken away from the rest of the fleet, and it looks like it is approaching you at a much greater speed than what you're able to travel. And then all of a sudden, from the science officer, you are notified at your station that this small ship that you've picked up is all of a sudden, you're not able to get any kind of... First off, there's a couple of things. As you're trying to scan the ship, your transponder does not seem to be working because it's not... That small little ship doesn't have any kind of identification codes to it, so it's not responding to your hails and stuff. And then your sensors are telling you that, and that's where the alarm's coming from, is this ship has just armed itself, and it seems like it's targeting its lasers at the hippocampus. So, guess what? It's red alert! All of the lights dim down, the red lights come on, and now it's time for space combat. So, it's a trap! It's a trap! So as science officer, you do get a visual image of a ship that has appeared on your monitor. And it looks like this. And as a science officer, why don't you give me a science check? And in fact, you can give me either science or a culture check, because this is what the ship actually looks like. It's a trap. It looks like a flying pile of bones. And let's see, with your check...
The oxygen.
Yes, with...
Oh my God. I think we're boned.
Nice check, by the way. You do recognize this as an Eoxian Death's Head Necroglider class. And it's a small, tiny interceptor. They are very maneuverable, and they are very quick. And they do have weapons, because you know that they are locked and loaded on you. So, we are in Starship Combat, because all of a sudden your sensors say that Eoxian ship has fired. So, I'm excited. We got 3 phases of Star Combat. Have you guys read anything about Starship Combat yet?
I have, Dave. I read so much.
Awesome. So we've got 3 phases. So as everybody's at their stations, battle stations, red alert has gone up, and we got 3 phases. We're in phase 1 right now. This is the engineering phase. This is where the engineer on the ship, which would be U-404, you get an action you can either repair the ship, or you can give a system a boost. So what action would you like to what would you preferably like to do in the engineering phase?
So since we haven't taken any damage yet, I think probably what would be the smarter move for us to do
Our first
would I'll go to a divert engineering phase, where I can divert auxiliary power into one of the Starship system to give it a boost.
Yeah, I like that. So you're going to need to do an engineering check, and your DC is going to be, it's basically a tier 1 ship, so you're going to need to make a DC 12 check.
Okay, and I'll do my engineering check.
Yep.
But just to make sure we're kind of all on the same thing here, what I'm doing...
Yeah, and you guys can plan this out too.
So what I'm doing is I am diverting some of the power for useless human things like life support systems to the engines, so that we can increase our speed and maybe do some special maneuvers or something.
I like that. Yeah, the speed of your ship is 6. So if
Yes.
you have if you can divert some powers, it'll take that 6 to an 8. Because if you are successful with your engineering check, which I am waiting for your roll, then you can divert power to the engines, and your speed will increase by 2.
Okay, so I start flipping the switches and hook into it, and I start diverting the energy. And I said,
so great.
Increasing the engines. We're going to make sure that we got lots of speed here. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
I am awaiting your check, Michael. Wrong. Yeah, you are so jazzed up. I mean, you've got jazz hands going 404 on your facial screen. You've got jazz hands kind of going on. And yeah, this is new technology to you, and you fail. Actually, you do not get to get a successful divert energy. Kind of, and then it says try again. So
then
now
I'll
we're
put the
go
Urkel. Did I do that?
So let's go to Phase 2 of Starship Combat. This is called the Helm Phase. This is where our pilot, which would be moi, playing Bailey, I'm going to attempt a piloting check. And I'm also going to do a piloting check for the Eoxian vessel as well. And how initiative works in this is the lowest, it's the opposite of tactical combat. So if whoever has the lowest roll, they get to go first. Which, in all honesty, when you think about it, because of tactics and stuff like that, the lowest person gets to go first. Because they're pretty much going to leave themselves vulnerable after their movement, which is pretty cool. I like that. So for the Eoxian vessel, let's go ahead and do a piloting check for...
Hey, a quick question.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Assuming there's like a free action of this talking.
Yeah, there absolutely is, yeah.
Well, before we do anything too rash, I'd like to do that.
Sure. You guys can do whatever you want to.
Open a frequency to that
Very nice.
ship.
Beep, 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 beep.
Open.
Are they responding?
I don't know why the pilot's making that noise. We need the science officer to.
Yeah, go for it, science officer. You open up a hailing frequency.
Hailing frequency open.
I love it.
Hey, did Dave? Did
Sure.
Mr. Noor give this ship a name? Was there a name for
it's called the Hippocampus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Thanks for playing again.
Thanks,
beers?
Yeah.
Are you drinking tonight, Bay? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I should be now, so I can have an excuse. Anyway, I transmit.
I just forgot to download it.
This is the Hippocampus. We're here under direct orders of the Ambassador Gevalarx Noor. Please stand down.
Well, hello there, sweetie, but I'm here to make sure that you're not interfering with anyone else's business anymore, so you can kiss my grits, liver lips.
As a couple of shots are fired, and you can tell on your censoring equipment, Mr. Science Officer, that the ship has fired. Poof, poof. Let's kiss their grits, liver lips. Looks like you're I guess you could say you're a tactical I don't want to call it a retreat, but it seems like your parlay was denied.
Okay. Well, I mean, at any phase, I could do a taunt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, at any time that you want to, because the captain, as the captain, you get to act in any phase that you would want to go.
It's a taunt.
So if you want to go now, you can, because the pilot of the Eoxian vessel had the lower roll, and Bailey actually had a great roll of a 27. So we're going to go ahead and open up I'm going to open up a new map for you guys. Check this out.
Okay. And then I want to re-communicate my taunts as soon as you're ready.
Sure. We are going to go to the basic starfield. So here we go. I'm sharing it with you guys. This is the first map that was actually released, the first map pack, flip map. And you guys are this far apart. You guys are on the right-hand side right here. This is your ship. This is the Eoxian vessel on the left. And the pilot here is going to, this is a small vessel. This is actually much smaller than your vessel. So there's only pretty much one person that's on this ship, because this is basically just carrying one. It's a small fighting vessel. So the speed on this thing, though, is super fast. It's pretty much twice as fast as your ship. So you have, and you know this with your sensors there, Soren, that there is no way you are going to be able to get away from this ship. So I'm going to move my 12 spaces, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now let's go to...
I feel like we're bees.
Yeah, so now that I've done my movement, you get to go with any captain's things that you want to do, and then we'll go with the piloting check of Bailey.
Okay, and then I'm going to retransmit this.
Okay.
All right, you have two options now then. Option 1, I can report you to your authorities, and you can take whatever punishment they've deemed fit for your actions. Or we can just destroy you.
I'm the best pilot in all of the Pact Worlds, darling. You've got no chance to best me. Kiss my grits, liver lips.
Alright, so I'll roll my bluff check, and I get also an expertise die with that.
Yeah. So you are doing you're actually doing taunt, correct? Yep, so you're using the communication systems to broadcast a taunting message to the enemy vessel. But she did seem to, let's see, you're going to need to make a, your intimidate check or bluff. You can do bluff or intimidate, and your DC is going to be 15 plus 2. So it will, no, actually it will be 15 plus 1. 15 plus 2. So a 17. And as you perform your bluff check,
my expertise.
You are so lucky. She seems, just as she says, "Kiss my grits, liver lips," she seems like her voice is crackling a little bit, and it seems like you might have intimidated her a little bit, because now she is going to get a -2 penalty for all her checks for 1d4 rounds. So you can give me a 1d4.
All right, take that, jerky lips.
Yeah, so she's going to be suffering penalties at -2 for 2 rounds.
Nice.
Which is great. So far, our first Starship Combat is working. I'm sorry, I was looking at the 6. So 4, yeah. So she's going to be pretty much, you've really actually intimidated her. And yeah, so you can see the ship is kind of like swaying back and forth now. So our first combat is going actually really smooth. So as part of Phase 2, the Helm Phase, what would anybody else want to go during this phase?
Science officer's going to make a scan. I'm going to try to determine any other basic information, defenses, or weapons.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely want you to do that. Gosh, bless America. I definitely like that. So the DC that you're going to need to do is going to be a 11. And it doesn't look like there's any countermeasures or anything like that. So you were able to scan this ship, and you find out that the ship's name is actually called the Stiletto, and it is a Death's Head necroglider, and it is the Interceptor class It has a perfect maneuverability, just like your vessel. It'll have a 30 armor class rating, a 30 target lock rating. It has, it has hit points with your ship as well, and you know that this ship has a little less life or a little less hull capacity than what your ship has, and it has a low crit threshold as were what your ship has, and then there's a basic shield, and it's shielded on all sides with the forward and the aft having a little bit more shield than the other sides, the port and starboard side. It has a Micron heavy power core that has a total of 70 PCU. It does not have a drift engine, so it can't travel into deep space. And then it has a basic computer, some short range sensors. It has MK3 armor, MK3 defenses, and that's it. So you've pretty much found out about everything that you can about this thing.
All right, I'm going to load up that information to the captain and the gunner.
Very nice.
Well, so I might have a question on that, you guys. If it's a short-range ship, then I'm expecting that it must have been launched from some ship nearby. Maybe we should scan for other ships.
Well, there's no other ships coming up on scan range right now.
Well, I'm just asking the science guy.
All of a sudden, 4 Klingon
no,
ships
they're
come out of
uncloaking. Those
cloaking.
birds of prey.
Carrier uncloaks. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you watch the new Star Trek series on CBS. But anyways, as you are scanning, there's no other ships because, as I was telling you guys, as you guys were making your way to the Acreon, that you were leaving the outer parameters of all of the vessels of the Armada. So, all right. So you've done.
What's our weapon?
Your weapon here is a
Goldfish gun.
You've got, let's see, you've got a light laser cannon, which is actually much more, it's about the same. It's a little bit better than what they have on the Stiletto. But on the Stiletto, it actually has an EMP cannon. And if the EMP cannon goes off and hits your ship, it can start...
Do we know the range of that?
It can start I don't know the range. I'd have to look it up. If somebody could look up light EMP cannon for me.
Oh, it says it doesn't work
ships.
Against our ship, Dave.
Yeah, it would start throwing off
Page 9A.
Yeah, it'll start throwing off either science officer station or whatever, and we'll do a roll on that. So, but yeah, you have and then you have a turret as well, a beautiful coil gun that is really nice. It does 44 damage, and the turret you can fire in any of the phases, which is really nice. The other gun, your light laser cannon, it's on the forward quadrant, so you can't use it right now. The only thing you can use right now would be the coil gun because it's basically on the bottom of the ship.
Okay.
All right. So you guys have all of the information, and plus when we get Fantasy Grounds and stuff, you'll be able to see all the ship details and stuff like that because you'll have your own ship by then probably. All right, so let's anything else going on during the Helm phase? She's made her movement.
I just have a general question.
Sure.
Like, I can act in any phase, but do I only get one action per round?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then whenever it comes back to, or whenever it goes to phase 1 again, then you can go ahead and start acting again. Mm-hmm. All right, so next we're going to phase 3, which is the gunnery phase, which is the where we start attacking. So now, seeing that she has the...
I was looking up
Sure,
what you
go
said
ahead.
about the EMP. Did it have an EMP cannon? A light EMP cannon or heavy?
It is the light EMP cannon. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The range on that is short.
Okay, very good.
Whatever that is.
I don't know. Does it give a range on that?
I'll keep looking.
Okay, very good.
We'll kind of
feet. Yeah, I've read all this stuff a couple of times, but this is going to be a learning process for us anyway. So this is something that we're not used to doing, but so far so good. So what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and fire the on the Stiletto. There is a gyro laser that she is going to fire at you guys. So I'm
Dave,
gonna
that's
go
pronounced
ahead
G-Row.
and
short range is 5 hexes. Sorry, that was
Okay.
last interruption.
5 hexes, yeah. And then after that, after every hex after that is like -2 per hex or something like that. It's a negative modifier.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let me ask you. You said that we know what weapons they have, right? We
Yeah.
do know that.
Successful scan, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I tell everyone to stay out the range of that DMP. Or I tell the pilot.
All
I
right,
don't know
so
if we can.
a couple of laser shots fire across your bow. You have a 30 armor class, which it is targeting a 30. You guys got a nice... no, you guys have a 24. So I rolled a 24, and it hits. So now I'm going to do as one shot goes over the bow, and then the other shot hits. So let me go ahead and roll damage on that, which will be a 1d8. So you get hit for... The ship kind of rocks back and forth, and you take 3 damage to your ship. So you've got shields on the back. So on the back, let's see, which would be the aft, I believe. You have a 5 shield, which is actually pretty nice. So your damage is just reflected off. So you've got 2 shield left on the back of the ship, and no damage is taken to the hull. And then remember, you have a total of 35 hit points, and there's 5 critical thresholds for your hull. So every 7 damage that your hull takes, we go to critical, and we're going to do a roll for to see whatever station is affected. So we would basically go to the critical damage effects and see if your life support's affected, or sensors, or weapons, or engines, or power core, or something like that. So, all right. So the first shot hits you, your shield absorbs all of it, and you have.
Was that the forward shields
2.
or the aft shields that got hit?
That was the aft shields in the back. So now you guys get to go. So the Mr. Gunner, which is Valek, you are getting to shoot with the turret is your only option. And your turret is going to give you you're going to get you will not get a bonus modifier, but let's see, computers, anything with computers, Worm, you'll get a +3 bonus from the ship, okay? Let's see. Oh, so you can take a +1 if you want to go ahead and
Roger.
do yeah. So you'll get an additional +1 on your check for gunnery. So if you want to go ahead and fire your turret, aim it to the back, fire it towards the stiletto. And
Before he does that, I would like to use my...
Go ahead.
In this phase, I want to encourage.
Well,
So I'm confused why I don't get a bonus.
Well, you get to add all of your whatever your skill is, your gunnery skill is. So you add all of your skill ranks in gunnery and all that other stuff. So in fact, I think gunnery would be the best of your. It's between your piloting and your basic attack bonus, or your BAB. And then you would also add your dex in there as well, and all the other bonuses. But trinkets, you can only do 1. We're still in phase 3, so you can't do any other actions.
Oh, this isn't a new round? I thought it was a new round.
No, not
Sorry.
yet.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No problem. We're all new at this. So, and it'll speed up the more we do this, too. So
you add in my BAB.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Whatever's higher between piloting or BAB. Then your dex. Then you're going to get a +1 because of the ship modifier. And then you can go ahead and attack. And then she can also encourage you to give you an additional +2 or +4 or something like that too, as the captain. As she motivates you on the loudspeaker saying, hurry up and hit that dang bang or something like that, whatever. I don't know. So, all right. So let's see your,
so I get +1 for the ship, +1 for the dex. And then my BAB.
Like if you shoot that guy, you won't have to clean the head tonight.
All right. Oh, okay. Bonus attack modifier. Now, is it based off my melee?
Your level. So whatever your level is,